a female millionaire worth $10 million. In order to make her lover the vice president of the company, she actually demoted her own husband. She made her husband work under her lover, and faced with such an unreasonable demand, he actually agreed, only because he once made a promise. This story goes back many years. The wealthy woman's name was Mary. Mary's father was on his deathbed, but he didn't feel comfortable leaving the company to Mary, so he handed it over to Mary's husband. He sent Mary abroad to study, and planned for her to inherit the company after she graduated. The wise father knew that Mary had a proud personality. On his deathbed, he asked Mary's husband to be patient and tolerant with her in the future. The husband immediately agreed, and swore that he would forgive Mary 100 times. Mary, standing beside them, was unwilling and resentful. She believed there was nothing wrong with her personality, but her father forced her to make a promise that she must obey her husband in the company and never trust others too easily to fulfill her father's dying wish. Mary reluctantly agreed. Many years later, her husband successfully expanded the company. He was now not only the company's vice president, but also a live stream influencer with 10 million followers. Mary returned home to inherit the company. At first, she showed great respect to her husband. She massaged him and even gifted him a villa and a luxury car. But later, Mary had an affair with her lover. She began to hate her husband more and more, and now she ordered him to transfer his 10 million follower account to her ignorant and foolish lover. The husband thought Mary had gone crazy because the lover knew nothing about running a live stream account. But to his surprise, the lover was well prepared. He took out a cooperation contract. It turned out to be a sales contract between the lover and Factory. A Factory A's food was extremely cheap. It could bring in $10 million in net profit each month. But the husband's current contract with Factory B only earned $5 million per month. Mary was thrilled with pride. She mocked her husband's weak business ability, saying he was no match for her lover. But the husband stayed calm because he had already investigated Factory A. Although Factory A's food was cheap, its quality was extremely poor. The government had already ordered Factory A to stop producing food. Mary was shocked. She immediately questioned her lover if that was true, but the lover remained calm. He took out a forged food safety certificate to prove that Factory A's food was safe. The foolish Mary believed him instantly. She once again ordered her husband to hand over the account. Though reluctant and frustrated, he still reluctantly agreed. Mary had no idea that her husband was only keeping the promise he made to her father. He had already forgiven her 99 times. Only one more remained before he would leave the company forever. Not long after, the husband still felt uneasy about Factory A's food safety, so he took several subordinates and went to inspect Factory A's production site. To his shock, the factory's environment was terrible. Hundreds of diseased pigs were lying on the ground waiting to be slaughtered. There was absolutely no food safety control. He immediately told his staff to take photos and collect evidence, and remotely ordered the live stream to stop selling Factory A's products. At the same time, the lover was happily hosting a live stream sale when a colleague suddenly told him to pause it because the husband had discovered Factory A's safety issues. The lover was furious. He immediately came up with a vicious plan to take revenge on him. Soon after Mary came to ask about the live stream, the lover pretended to be wronged and complained to her. He didn't mention Factory A at all. Instead, he took out a fake financial statement to accuse the husband of embezzling company funds. The foolish Mary believed him. Of course, she stormed into her husband's office in anger. At that moment, the husband had just returned from Factory A. He was about to tell her the truth, but Mary slapped him hard across the face. He looked at her in shock. He couldn't understand why she did that, but Mary mocked him for pretending to be innocent. She threw the financial report at him and called him a power-abusing thief. The husband took one look at the document and immediately realized it was forged by the lover. He even had the real one in his hand. But Mary didn't believe a word he said. She naively thought the one in his hand was the fake. The husband thought she was unbelievably foolish. He immediately requested a third-party audit to verify the authenticity of the documents. The lover panicked. He quickly stopped Mary and persuaded her not to involve a third party, claiming it would damage the company's reputation. Mary thought he made sense. She lost all faith in her husband, so she ordered him to return the house and car the company had given him, so she could give them to her lover. The husband found it absurd. He never thought Mary would be not only foolish, but also so petty. Furious, he handed the property deed to the lover. After Mary left, the lover flashed a victorious smile at him, but the husband had regained his calm. He thought to himself, this was the last chance Mary had used up. The next day, Mary held a shareholders meeting. She actually proposed to remove her husband from the vice president position and demote him to a janitor. The husband made no objection. He resigned without hesitation and walked away gracefully.